Hello, this is William, and welcome to the next episode of William's Whiteboard. First, I want to take a quick moment just to thank all of you that stopped by before on episode 1 and 2 and liked and shared and provided feedback, comments, and engaged with me. I really appreciate it. Now we're going to dive into episode 3. This episode is entitled Artist Rendering, and this idea came to me as I was preparing for a training course that I facilitated this past week. And here we go. In any real estate development deal, first there is an idea that there is a project that wants to be developed. At some point, there will be a set of blueprints created that will allow the project to actually turn into a physical structure. Something that happens in between the idea and the blueprint is something called an artist rendering. It is a little bit more than the idea, but it is something less than the blueprints. No one builds from the artist rendering, but the artist rendering gives people an opportunity to explore the art of the possible. Okay? What could this project actually look like? How tall, how wide, how many doors, how many windows? Where will the sidewalks be? Likely where will people be interacting with the building? Where will streets be? It is an artist rendering of what will eventually become a set of blueprints and then end up being an actual physical structure. I think this idea can also be applied to acquisition, particularly in the contract strategy and acquisition strategy process. We often have an idea in our contracts world that usually is a mission need. And I have this sense that we often go directly to building the blueprints, which would be an AP, an advanced AP, some of the documentation, the artifacts that support the eventual deal or contract. Here's, I think, this concept of having a contractual or strategy artist rendering could be appropriate. That we have an opportunity to think about the idea and think about the mission need, but before we start building artifacts for the deal and artifacts for the contract file, we actually stop, grab a whiteboard if necessary, and do an artist rendering of what this contract, this strategy, this larger acquisition could be. It could allow us to take a look at and examine what do we believe the requirements are today, what do we believe the structure, the pricing structure could be, how much labor would be involved, what type of deliverables, all of the things before it starts getting real, we start putting it on paper and the idea starts growing legs and artifacts. We start being invested in the artifacts. Take one step back and think about what an artist rendering of that contract structure or that acquisition strategy could look like. I think this is an idea that could well serve us and the acquisition team as we go off and build that it eventually will turn into a more effective contract, a more effective deal when we have an opportunity to examine it from the beginning. So to wrap up, idea before we start building artifacts, Take some time, get the team together, and create an artist rendering of this deal or of this acquisition strategy so you can explore all of the arts of the possible before it gets time to start putting pen to paper. Thank you for the time. Please feel free to like, share, comment, and as well as subscribe. And don't forget, whenever you have a problem and something you're chewing on, grab some whiteboard markers and a whiteboard and go at it. Thank you so very much for the time and have a great day. Bye.